Today I have the great pleasure of reading to you. I need to pay my bills. More than 56,000 students in the UK at university now do sex work to make money at university. University is there, isn't it? Isn't university there to make you feel proud of your country, to make you feel proud of yourself? I mean, working as a sex worker to feel proud about yourself is sort of a contradiction in terms. And why would the universities be allowing this to happen? They know what's going on because they're interested in providing help and health and risk support, but they're not interested in helping the students enough that they don't need to go into prostitution. And I don't understand why in a first world country where we have all the money in the world to go and tear limbs off Iraqis and to make war, why we have to make the future generation, the most intelligent people in our country, why do we have to make them open their legs to unknown people? Of course, it's, with their consent. Of course, it's with their will. Of course, nobody's forcing them to do it, but you're putting them in a position where you're sort of saying, if you do not open your legs whilst you're at university in order to get a degree so that you can pay, so that you can get a better job, so that we can get more taxes, so that we can go to war, we won't help you. You're forcing, you're sort of blackmailing or pushing or I don't know, strong arming, I don't know what the word is, young people, young vulnerable people, 18-year-olds, maybe 17-year-olds in Scotland, but 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds, just out of school, just barely lost their virginity, and you're asking them to open their legs to anybody and everything so that they can pay their bills to make the country great, to enrich the nation, to provide services, to make it the nation proud of itself, to make the nation the leading one in the world, to help technology, to help AI, to help computers, to help systems, to help Medicare, to help health, to help doctors, to make inventions, to be proud, a country to be proud of itself. Because that's what a country does. A country's got universities so that the country's proud of itself. What universities do, about 10% of the students that go to university, they are foreign students. They are from different countries like China. And since the 1970s, China, clever China, clever China, clever China, maybe we should be listening to China. And maybe that's the way it should be going. China's been sending its students to our universities. Why has it been doing that? Because we sell knowledge. Knowledge usually is supposed to be secret. It is supposed to be guarded. That's where the word occult comes from. Occult, occulted, means to hide, doesn't it? The eye, ocus or occult, yeah, oculus. So when you hide something, why are you hiding it? You hide knowledge. Why do you hide knowledge? Because knowledge is power, because knowledge gives you an advantage. China knows this, so it sends its children to our universities that then go and get this knowledge for, we think it's a lot of money. I mean, if you're paying, I don't know, 50, 60, 100,000 a year, I mean, for us, it's a lot of money. For a government, it's not. If that money that they invest in a student then turns into a multinational company and it makes millions and billions, then that 50 or 100,000 really isn't very much, is it? What we have is we are selling our knowledge. Knowledge is not something to be sold. Knowledge shouldn't be sold. Knowledge shouldn't be capitalized. Knowledge shouldn't be turned into a business. Unless, of course, you want that knowledge to be turned into a profit because the country is going to be turned into profit. But I don't see why a country should be something which is a business, something which is capitalistic. We are people on this earth and our job here isn't to make money. Money doesn't really, does it exist? Does it not exist? I don't know. Can you see money? We have the symbol of money. The symbol of money is a piece of paper which has a value, but the value doesn't really exist because gold is supposed to back it up. But it's called fractional reserve, isn't it? Fractional reserves or fractional lending, whereby a bank has 1 kilo of gold, but it can lend out like 90 times the value of that gold because it's based on fractional reserves or fractional lending. So the money isn't really, the money is really done by confidence, isn't it? It's done by faith, and we have more faith in money than we have God, right? So we don't really have a lot of faith in our countries, do we? Or is it a false faith? Is it an illusion that we've got? Because if it's an illusion that we have, then that's not truth. And if universities are there to purport and to show and to teach truth, then they're not purporting or showing or investing in truth or an ability to see or discern the difference between truth and illusion. And therefore, we have a very big problem. The universities are there to make students great, to make positions, to make jobs great, to give value to the people. How can you have value to yourself? How can you have value for your country if your country makes you prostitute yourself in order to make the country better? And making it better, it invests in war and it kills people because it's about power, money, and resources under the illusion of ideology that our Western democracy is better than Russia and China because China kills 5,000 or 50,000 people a year as capital punishment. And a lot of those people that they kill, pedophiles or criminals or people like that, to get rid of corruption. I to be honest, I don't see really what the problem is. I'm quite in favor of having capital punishment for quite a few crimes, especially to do with children. And then Russia, well, they've got a strong leader, haven't they? And they're having a war at the moment, and they're seeming to win the war. And we're just at loads of wars all over the world, and we're spreading ourselves thin. And we can sort of see the rest of the world, the East, ganging together, putting their resources together, and a third world war is coming along. It's looming. It's there. We can see it. They're shouting from the banisters. They're shouting from the clouds. They're shouting from the curtains. The officers in the army, the officers in the British Army, the Netherlands Army, the Brussels Army, the German Army, the Lithuanian Army, all these army officers are all saying Third World War is coming and we don't have enough troops, so we need conscription. Why do you go and fight for your country? Because you're proud of your country. But the people that run the country aren't part of the country. They're globalists, they're capitalists. They're very happy to go and give all of the information and knowledge to other countries as long as they get power and money. And they'll get you as cannon fodder to go and die for their ideals, which are basically very egoistic, very selfish. But because the way that the government and the society is set up, we're sold and we're fed a lie, and we believe in it. And we believe in it so much, we're prepared to die for our country in conscription and also to sell ourselves when we go to university. And I'm saying to you guys, I'm saying to you young people, look, it's going to get worse and it's going to get harder. The propaganda that came out about Russia, it was all rubbish. Russia's losing the Russia is losing the war. Putin's crazy. Putin's ill. Putin's on steroids. Putin's a tyrant. Putin's this. Putin's that. But Putin seems to be winning. But our media won't tell us. The media doesn't tell you the truth. We live in a post-real society, a post-truth society. What we see, what we get on the media is largely controlled by government. They control Twitter. They control X. They control YouTube. They control Facebook. What we see, the perception that we have of reality is not real. It's a perception which is created by us, by our governments, or by globalists, or by capitalists, or by titans of industry. You do not wish to go to war. My prophecy is this: they are going to start putting out lots and lots and lots of videos of nationalist things, come together, fight, go into the military. And I also believe that the immigrants in the country are going to be pushed into national service. They'll have to do 1 year mandatory service in order to become a citizen of a country. And I think they're also the new cannon fodder, by the way, as well. I think a lot of the immigration is coming in order to turn those people into cannon fodder to go and fight wars that we don't need and we don't want and we don't believe in. So when they start calling you up, guys, when they start calling you up and they're telling you to go and fight for them, don't go and do it. Because in Russia and China and Iran, they'll be saying the same thing. And I hope there'll be a mirror image of me in those countries talking in their language saying, don't go and do it. This war is not our war. This war is a war of the elites. It's a war of the globalists. It's a war of the people that want resources. It's the war of the people that want to push their ideologies onto the world. This is not our war. This is for them. Let them go and fight it. No politicians are renowned for being cowards. When a politician goes into the front trench and they're prepared to kill someone and they're prepared to get PTSD, and they're prepared to go and lose limbs and they're prepared to lose their loved ones, then maybe we'll follow. But let's kill the career politicians, the Nusrat Ghani's MP for Wealden, people that try to stop the investigations into child sexual abuse when they're actually on the board of ICSA. People like her friend Keith Vaz that like very young men in hotel rooms when they're married. And suddenly buy cocaine, not for them but for other people. We don't need these people in our society. We need to get rid of them. And I think there will be a rebellion. I think we're already in a third world war. I think it's going to perpetuate. I think that there's going to be rebellions. I think that our society is going to implode. I think that as China attacks Taiwan, as Gaza rolls on, as Ukraine rolls on, as Yemen rolls on, as other little disputes in the world rolls on, I see our countries imploding. I see civil unrest, civil problems, and potentially civil war. Our countries have been ruined by politicians, and that's partly our fault for voting them in, not standing up and allowing them to get away with this. Schools tell us to behave in a particular way that keeps us in servitude. It's about time we re-educate ourselves, and that doesn't come from university, and it doesn't come from selling your vagina, and thinking where we're going with this war, where we're going with our country. Is this really where we want to go?